All right, welcome back to Rivals on the Pitch podcast. Thank you for stopping by, giving us a listen. We this week we have a very fun episode. We'll be reviewing match week 9, and then we'll end the episode on match week 10. We'll also do predictions for our mini league, and we'll discuss some of the things that happened during the week. Arsenal injury issues, Crystal Palace getting their first win. Woo. Manchester United and their future potential managers.
Our manager.
Yeah, let's dive in. My name's Pat.
I'm Randy.
And I'm Alan.
Let's go.
Do it.
All right.
So we're going to start off with a 30-minute section on Crystal Palace's first win of the season. First win, so we have to deep dive.
No, we can go ahead and there's other things. Let's talk about the Yankees are playing the World Series. We can talk about that.
I mean, we'll get to all this good stuff. Let's just stick to the script and start from
Top to bottom?
Let's start from the table.
I have a lot to say. And I'm going to say it all. How do I switch
Okay,
this?
you're going to do it. Yeah, well, just wait till we get to you.
Week 9, match week 9. Why do I feel like it's a lot more weeks?
I feel the same thing.
I feel like it's so early in the season that none of this really matters. None of it.
We are a quarter of the way through.
A quarter.
Wow.
So it means a lot. It's a big milestone, but there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, I think once you hit like the end of December, when you get all those games, boxing match and all that stuff, I think when you get a little more clarity. Then from there on, it's like when things start picking up because you're at that halfway point right there, and everyone always judges who's at the top or where you're at position wise at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I think these international breaks aren't helping. They're making the season feel a little bit longer.
And all these competitions, the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League, Europa League, all these things.
They did mention on NBC Sports that once you get past the quarter of the way through, the movement is a lot less. So whoever's like top 6 will just move amongst top 6. Whoever's at the bottom 3 or 4 will kind of move amongst themselves at the bottom, and then the middle kind of just stays. They just kind of move. So we'll see. I don't know if that could be particularly true, especially now that Manchester United are going to be looking for a new
Yeah, it's not true.
coach. Who knows? They could make a jump, or they could make a bigger drop.
It's not true.
Why? Because the Spurs are not in the top 6?
There's a team in the middle that's
Crystal
gonna
Palace?
make its way up. No. And there's a team on top that's slowly making their way down.
Is it the Pony FC?
Yeah, maybe my predictions are right.
Which one? The
We'll
Spurs finishing in
see.
second?
We'll see. Yeah, it's plenty of season left.
Oh, now it's plenty of season. We'll get to the
Don't worry, we
Crystal
have
Palace
plenty of
game.
time to pick up speed. There's plenty of season for the rest of us, but Liverpool season slowly.
It
I
wasn't.
don't even know who Arsenal are going to play next week. The ball boy? The water boy? Bobby Boucher is going to make an
Yeah.
appearance?
Arteta's.
It's going to be a player coach?
Another Mikel.
He's suiting up.
Yeah, he could probably. Why not? Totti's coming out of retirement for Como, I believe. So why not Arteta, right?
Who's that guy who just signed for Genoa? Mario.
Balotelli,
Oh.
Super Mario.
No thanks.
So we still have a shot. What are we doing here sitting around on our asses? Let's go.
I know.
Let's go suit
I
up.
could go still.
All right. Match week 9. Let's start from the beginning here. Leicester versus Nottingham Forest at King's Power Stadium. Leicester at home. Unfortunately, they fell to the surprisingly good Nottingham in the Forest. Chris Woods, he's been on one lately.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening up in the forest up there, but this is unexpected, honestly. Yeah, getting relegated, and now they're in the top. They're in the top half, and they're winning.
How much do you think this is credited to Nuno?
Nuno Espírito Santo.
But the thing is, if you say it's him, then it's like you'll be like, oh, how come he couldn't do that with the Spurs?
Because this is the history of the Tottenham.
I mean, he
Yeah.
Tottenham. He did it with Wolves.
That's
I
true.
mean, it was just stagnant. All it was that they were stagnant. They weren't going anywhere. So I think they wanted a change.
Do you honestly think that Spurs was a big jump for him? He should have just maybe kept working a little bit. Like work his way with like Forest, for example, and then maybe wait to get a bigger jump. Maybe Everton move his way up instead of just jumping from Wolves all the way to Spurs.
I mean, he did go to Saudi. Nobody else wanted him either. Defensive football is not favored by a lot of clubs, so I think one, it wasn't great to come to Spurs. I think we just weren't having. We were built for attacking, so I don't think he was going to succeed. Maybe after, let's say, he came in after Mourinho and Conte, and the team was set up to be very defensive with defensive players, he would have had more success. You know, with the Pochettino era coming into Mourinho and Conte, like they were trying to flip that team around and become a defensive style team. And I think he was stuck in that middle, and the team wasn't set up for that. So I think that's kind of why he didn't really succeed in Tottenham.
All right. Like, I mean, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Good for Nottingham Forest. Leicester, I think Leicester are starting to fall behind a little bit.
I mean, Vardy's showing his age.
We'll see.
I can't wait till we revisit our predictions for the league standings, because it should be interesting.
And come to think of it, now it's like it doesn't seem bad that Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest. You know, they're
okay.
You know, it's if they were like, it could have been worse. It could have been like if we lost to Crystal Palace, who hasn't won a game, but Nottingham has been winning games. You know,
I mean,
so it's somewhat testable.
We've been saying it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Let's move along here. Let's move along. All right, Everton, the team of Liverpool, facing Fulham, 1-1.
That was a good game.
You guys surprised with this one or what?
I was actually surprised a bit. I mean, Fulham were playing well, honestly. And then, I just think the whole Arsenal players from Rowe and Iwobi, they were just, they clicked.
On fire, yeah.
Yeah, and they're just, firing on cylinders, and they play well together. Everton with that last minute header, I mean, unexpected. I thought it was just going to be typical Everton, and they were going to lose it at home.
No, you think they're turning around? Is this a sign that
I just don't think they're consistent enough?
Did their season finally start?
Yeah, I agree with Pat,
but they'll stay. I think they'll fight, but we'll see. We'll see if they start being a little more consistent. Yeah.
And an assist from Ashley Not So Young.
Oh, that was a nice nice play though. It was. Yeah. I mean, Beto was like, how tall is that guy?
Where do they sit?
It was a nice cross to Young, and then a nice little pass back to the middle, and Beto, just using his size, was able to get it. It was beautifully done. It was a beautiful play.
So Everton is sitting 16th place right now, so 2 spots above regulation. They're at 9 points. Crystal Palace is at 17th with 6 points. I think they have enough.
So you think there's a big enough gap to at least for them not to worry?
Not yet, but with Ipswich, Southampton, I mean, Leicester sitting at 15th. So it's 15th is Leicester City, 16th Everton, 17th Crystal Palace, and then the bottom 3 are Ipswich, Wolves, Southampton. They have to pick it up. Or not, like Pat was saying in the beginning, those bottom spots, all they're doing is just rotating amongst themselves, and they can get stuck in that trap.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, Everton is slow to start their season, but moving along real slow in case this hour mark hits and we don't get to everything. It's okay. Man City versus Southampton at the Etihad. Erling Haaland, 5 minutes in, scoring a goal, and then nothing after that. Are we seeing a decline in City? What's going on? Is there some turmoil? Or is
I think you mentioned it.
Is everything getting too?
You mentioned it last podcast that they're getting scrappy wins. Like and fair play to them. They're getting the win. They're getting the job done. They say sometimes that's what champions do. They find a way to get it done, no matter how it is, even if it's an ugly win,
even if it's illegal.
But it's too early on for the games to be this tight, I feel like.
But has Haaland scored against any of the top teams? Honestly, I don't even think they've played any. But he just manages to score against these lower teams. and you expect him to hopefully show up against the Big Six teams, somebody who's actually going to be a rival for them for the title. But I think the Big Six are they're so more used to him that they know how to defend him. They know what to do against him. These small teams like Southampton, who are struggling just to stay afloat, they're going to, of course, struggle with Haaland.
But it's like 3 weeks in a row. It's been 3 weeks in a row for Man City. They're scraping by these lower on the table teams, and you expect them with the squad they have to have more convincing wins, and it just seems like the timing of everything that's going on, the results that they're getting, it seems like that pressure is weighing on them.
Could they be running out of steam?
It's good to see. I feel like it is. I mean, they almost lost to Wolves.
Pep is on his way out.
No, I think he's on his way out. He's going to resign. He is. Yeah, he was planning on resigning.
I don't think. I don't know. You can't really go off of what he says. I feel
he's
like
going to say, I'll stay here forever, but then he'll leave next season. I mean,
yeah, depends what the charges come up, guilty or not, or that could have a very huge effect on it.
Here, let me go over these results, these latest results. Man City 1, Southampton 0. They scored in the 5th minute, and after that, nothing. Wolves 1, Man City 2, which they scraped by.
Yeah.
Last minute goal, yeah.
Man City 3, Fulham 2. They tied to Newcastle 1-1, tied to Arsenal 2-2. Man City 2, Brentford 1. And then it's only been the first 3 matches against Chelsea, Ipswich, and West Ham that they've scored or they've won the game with
by huge margins.
3-1, 4-1, 2-0. Yeah, a margin higher than a goal.
Yeah.
And they've only won by 1 goal so far, and it gets you thinking like, okay, what's
and those scorelines are deceiving too.
Better for us, but
you mentioned Man City and Fulham. That game could have been 4-3 Fulham. You just see the scoreline, but you don't see the whole game. Fulham was giving it to Man City. They should have won that game, honestly. Brentford, they score an early goal. It's just, you don't see Man City dominating like they used to. And from the first 3 games to now these, you can see that it's dropped drastically. Because they're supposed to beat Southampton, especially if you score in the 5th minute. You're thinking it's going to be another goal. You think it's going to be like 6-0. But sadly, it's just a 1-0 game.
Hats off to Southampton. Yeah.
And Southampton almost tied it up, but
Brighton 2, Wolves 2.
What a game.
Yeah, this was a good game, especially second half.
Such a good game. Man. I think everyone saw that picture of how does Wolves come back from this when there was 1 guy defending against 4. And I was just like, you had to be there to see it. I was like, it was such a good game. This could have been like the game of the week or something just because of how good it was.
Yeah, Aït-Nouri, man. Again, this guy, he's fantastic.
You think he's staying there long?
No, I think someone could grab him up in the winter, but he's 100% not staying there next summer. Like I said, I wish Arsenal would go for a player like this, but I just don't think he suits our current play style because our fullbacks kind of tuck in, where he's like more speed and tech and kind of goes up the field. Like I said, I think he would suit Tottenham very well.
But I mean, wouldn't you want someone who at least gives you something different than what you're used to? To mix it up a bit.
I mean, yeah, we take him, but he's not injury prone, so I don't know if that's.
Oh, that's what you need, right?
He doesn't get enough red cards. He's not dark enough. His dark arts, he doesn't have it in him.
He's on his feet too much. I don't.
He plays attacking.
Oh, yeah, that's where I started. That's where I draw the line.
No, but I think it's if he doesn't fit, especially teams that have been like Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, these teams that have been together for so long, like you're looking for a specific piece,
Yeah.
And sure, you want something new and exciting, but if you don't fit that puzzle piece that fits in that puzzle, like you don't really have anywhere to go. You don't really have a role. You're not gonna mesh. I don't know. And
I feel like you already know you're kind of like a game changer more so than a potential starter.
Right. Or you have a role that you there's already a role waiting for you when you get on that team.
You'll get minutes, is what you're saying, but
Yeah, so you just can't throw anybody in there. But yeah,
we got to say, man, Welbeck
he's having a season.
having a nice resurgence. You know, he's having a good season. You're usually wrong side of 30, you should go downhill, but he's impressive. He's putting up goals.
He's never reached double figures for goals in the Premier League, and he's already at 6, a quarter of the way in.
Really? I could have sworn he reached it when he was in Man U.
Nope.
Still no? Damn. But, you know, he's like wine. He's getting better with age, and, you know, I think he should be able to get that, you know, double digits.
I bet
He
you
keeps
he's rubbing his hands for when he goes to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He's like,
Like that meme.
yeah.
Not again. Fool me once, shame on me. Or fool me once, shame on you. You're not gonna fool me again.
Come on, you're Spurs.
That's not good.
So the other one guy that scored was Ferguson, and there was a lot of talk about this kid these last few years. Seasons.
He's been on a drought.
And now they were talking about selling him for a lot of money, and
they're looking for like 100 mil.
Yeah, and now non-existent. Hopefully,
but we'll
he's
see
so
if
young.
he
He's
got
still
that
20.
goal. Yeah, he got that goal, so maybe that'll kickstart something. You know.
Another guy they've been talking about, Liam Dunlap. He's on Ipswich.
He was from City, right? I think he came over from City, but I don't know if he's a loan.
No, I think he was bought. Honestly,
yeah, he was bought from City.
But I mean, it would be a shame if he gets relegated. Hopefully, they can stay up because he's a good player.
If they get relegated, he's not staying. Yeah, he's getting sold because of that.
I mean, but he's still what? How old is he? I think he was like 21 or something. But he still has time. You know,
21,
it'd be nice to get at least some experience. He still has plenty of football. He can still be playing in the big leagues. When I saw the scoreboard when it was like 2-0, I was like, "What the hell is going on?" I thought it was a mistake or something. I'm like, I didn't think Ipswich was going to be beating Brentford at home.
Yeah, Brentford 4, Ipswich 3, tied at halftime 2-2. Mbeumo, jugando bueno.
But they came swinging.
I think Mbeumo is Erling Haaland is first leading in goals, and I think he's in second.
Yeah, I heard a rumor that Arsenal went in for him very late in the transfer window.
Really?
Before we got Sterling, they went in for him like a last minute thing, and it fell through. But
which one would you?
It depends. I would take Mbeumo on a permanent. Otherwise, I would stick with Sterling on a loan.
But I heard that they're probably going for him again, maybe this window.
Yeah.
I heard Liverpool's going for him.
That I'm not sure of, but I mean, the way he's playing, why not? But I don't think we need another attacker, honestly. I think he would be more suited for Arsenal.
We do need an early goal.
Yeah, and yeah, I just think it makes more sense for Arsenal, honestly. I mean, he's a young guy still, and he has Premier League experience, and I just think you're not getting a lot out of Martinelli. He's like a hit or miss.
All right, moving along. Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 1.
Shocker.
Bournemouth, is it a shocker?
A lot of late minute goals this week.
Yeah,
lots of last minute goals.
I don't know, man. I'm still trying to get used to this. You know, like 96 minute, 97 minute. It's just think it's too much.
I'm gonna stop watching first halves. I'm just gonna start tuning in from the. I'm just gonna start tuning after the half.
No, you never know. Maybe Brentford may score the first minute again.
So I'll turn it on and then I'll walk away.
Yeah,
45 minutes later.
Background.
Yeah. So the Cherries aren't doing bad. They've beaten some decent teams.
Next game.
Where are they?
But yeah, no, they're doing good.
They're not bad. I think they're one of those where you can't chalk it up as a victory if you're facing the Cherries.
And this is without Dominic Solanke, and you'd think they'd probably be struggling, but they're holding their own.
Yeah, they are. I think I really like their manager, Areola. I think he has that team playing very good, especially with the amount of players that they lost. I mean, they've brought some good guys in. But yeah, 1-1 Villa. It's good. Good to see that.
They're getting humbled a little bit.
Yeah, it's good to see that no Ollie Watkins or Duran scoring. So good because they were on one and it was not good.
I think if they weren't also playing Champions League, I think they could be, it's still early, but they could be maybe second or third.
Yeah, now they got to see how they're playing with extra more games than what they're used to playing.
It's going to keep weighing on them. What do you think, Alan? You still think Tottenham is going to finish above Aston Villa?
Yes. Yes. I didn't make my predictions to be a liar. So moving to Sunday, Chelsea 2, Newcastle 1 at the Stamford Bridge. Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer. Alexander Isaac is back. I don't know. I think Newcastle. Speaking of season predictions, I had Newcastle up there, and I don't know. They're looking a little flat. They're looking a little flat.
Yeah.
I think Gordon just got picked up an injury. They're kind of in the same boat as West Ham, where I figured they were going to be doing a lot better. They should have been beating these teams, but
yeah, I just feel like they haven't found like the right footing yet. Like they're very hit and miss. I don't know. There's something just missing. Just also like a little bit of consistency.
I mean, last year it seemed like they were, they had really good, they were playing really good games. Really, they were in sync. They had somewhat of an identity. This time around, I feel like but they were plagued with injuries as well. And playing European soccer, I think that was new to them. But this year around, they almost look stale.
Which is a shame because they have great players.
Yeah,
or
you can take them.
Do you think that's just the fact that Chelsea has been being more of their potential and they're just playing well that makes this Newcastle team look somewhat mediocre?
I don't think it's just this match, though.
Yeah, because Chelsea didn't look that great either.
But Cole Palmer with that pass to set up from Neto to Jackson.
Yeah, that was nice.
that was a beautiful pass.
That was lucky.
But
was
nice. I think it's just like Newcastle. They're just up and down sometimes. They're not consistent enough to stay relevant to be the top 6 team.
But they have the players to do it.
To find is it time for a new coach?
Eric, is that you?
Oh man!
Did you see that? All right, we'll get to that. All right, Crystal Palace on 1. All right, next match. West Ham.
No.
Alan, could you remind us what your prediction was for this game?
Yeah, what was the prediction for this one? And I remember, I'm gonna go back and clip it. I said, you said, was it like 3-0?
Yeah, I had to look it up. 3-0 from the mighty Spurs.
And I remember saying, I cannot wait until you lose this game.
and I've been saying it. I feel like Crystal Palace will get their first win against the Spurs, and it happened. It happened to Eze. I thought he was gonna go to Ange with his backpack, with his suitcase, say, "Hey, put me in, coach."
You don't know. I
think instead he put Spurs in his backpack and just threw him away.
You never know. You never know. So Crystal Palace won, the almighty Spurs almost 3.
Man, can we talk about that assist by Eze?
He was on point. Eze
was tearing us apart. So
he was like a little back heel assist.
Yeah, you had mentioned Crystal Palace getting their first win. Honestly, I was like, this is probably going to happen. Well, in the beginning of the season, it's you look at the table and you're like, okay, what shitty team are we going to lose to? And then social media is going to blow up, and everyone's going to rub it in my face. Oh my god, Spurs lost to Ipswich. Spurs lost to Leicester. And then when you said that, I'm like, I think we're gonna lose this. It's written in the stars. It's too good not to happen.
You watched the game? Like, at what moment did you just think like
it wasn't even like 10 minutes in, and you're like, we're not playing. So Yeah, like I texted you. I was like, man, I don't think we're winning this. And it's especially when Pedro Porro got folded by Eze. Oh my god, he broke his ankle so bad.
Oh yeah.
Lots of folding this weekend.
Yeah, we'll talk about the other one later. But as soon as that happened, and we all sitting there waiting, and I knew Crystal Palace was going to score. Their pressing was just threw us off rhythm. We were creating very few chances. We couldn't get out of our own half. It was impossible. We weren't connecting our passes. It just looked like we didn't know what we were doing. It looked like, I don't know, we went in there overconfident, from our last few performances. It just looked bad. It looked bad. This has to be the worst I think I've seen this team play under Ange. Even the Brighton game, you could take some positives out of that first half. This game, there's nothing out of it. I mean, it's not. I don't even want to try to take any positive out of it because there's nothing in that match that I want to see again. Mikey Moore started. He's one of the 17-year-olds that he got a lot of hype during the Europa League when he started. I think we kept him on a little too long. We should have, Timo Werner should have came in a little bit sooner. Madison came off for some reason. We should have waited to take him off to bring on Richie. This team is obviously missing Son. He won't even be back to play Man City this week, tomorrow. But
is that for FA Cup or?
Yes, for one of those cups, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta admit, we've all said it. Crystal Palace isn't a bad team. They were gonna win. They actually looked really good. LaCroix, what's his? I think LaCroix,
like the seltzer.
He looked good. He
yeah.
Croquette.
Croquette.
Yeah, their defenders were good. Their pressing was really good. I want Eze. I need Eze. But we were frustrated.
He just played you guys.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, after playing that, he's like, no, thanks. I'll stay where I'm at.
No, what we did is we played bad on purpose. So we were like, dude, look, you can start. You can be a
then
starter.
Why'd you make your your prediction so wrong then?
Because I didn't read up on my notes. Ange had called me and I didn't pick up. Yeah, it wasn't. Kulusevski just looked frustrated the whole time. He looked angry, and I felt like that was the energy throughout the whole team. And that's why we couldn't put 2-3 passes together. And we had a few chances where we should have scored, but I feel like even if we would have scored, I felt like Crystal Palace would have came back and scored. Because even after they scored, it's not like they sat back and tried to defend. They kept coming at us, and we had no answers for them. But this is a bad game. Bad game. A bad time, but
want to forget.
Yeah, forget real quick, and it's the last one we're losing. We're not losing any more games.
How long is Son out for, though?
He should be back for the next weekend, but he's not playing tomorrow against Man City. Which Man City, Pep, all the crap he talks, he's like, no, we're gonna play our second strings. We're not taking this cup serious. But
yeah, he's gonna play them to start, and then after that, first strings coming in second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it shows that you miss Sung. You guys need him.
I don't know if we were missing
leadership or something, but
yeah.
I think if he was there, it would have been a totally different game, honestly.
Yeah, he's a player that kind of can put the team on his shoulders when things aren't going their way.
He's one of those guys that I think he has that leadership presence, and yet he can try to create. And the moment you create, you've seen it where when you turn that crowd or you score, the tide turns, and maybe that's what we needed. That's just that one little push, but I don't even know if that would have been enough the way we played. We walked into that game thinking we were going to steamroll them or something, and not it.
But I mean, these games can wake you up. Hopefully it wakes you up because, I'm trying to say it's embarrassing because it was a team that was with 0 wins. But we all said it, that Crystal Palace plays well. They just had bad luck, mistakes.
But it is embarrassing.
They shouldn't be a 0-win team.
It's embarrassing because this is the game that we should be winning. This is the game that we need to be winning and making statements to solidify our spot in the top of the table. But we're not doing it. This season, there's been games where we've played better than we have last year. And then we have these onesies and twosies where we're just look like complete dog shit. Excuse my language, but it's true, And last year it was the first 10 games, I think we were undefeated. And we looked, we were scraping by, but we were, we had our results. But at least we were consistently good, and then we were consistently bad. Here, it's like good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. And it's like you don't know how to feel. You don't even know what Spurs is showing up to, what team is showing up the next match, and it's
I know you hate this word, but this is completely Spursy. This is like what they somewhat do. I don't know. It's like
I don't like the word
in a way.
It's not Spursy because it's only because Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest, but we don't call it Liverpool-y. But it's only because it's Spurs that it's like as soon as we have like this big old spotlight on us watching us, and as soon as we do something like bad, everybody just jumps on it. I don't think it's fair.
Maybe you're just not ready for the spotlight. That's why. Because you guys do play well, and then you go, and then you do have moments where you're just like you mentioned it. You just are. You guys
come December
play like dog shit, and and
hey, don't talk about my team like that.
It's just the same thing. It doesn't matter what coach it is. It's just the same thing over and over again with Spurs. They just had these moments where they do that, and that's why I respected Conte when he called them out for that. Called out the players in the dressing room and everything like that. But he was right.
I don't think he was right all the way. I think
not all the way, but at least he had the whatever the balls to say something. Even Jose Mourinho said something as well. But I mean, I think he's just trying to wake those players up to get them out of that.
I don't think it's so much that. Honestly, I think because I agree with something like these players, this and that. But Conte, I think if you guys would have had him as a manager, you would have seen how shitty he actually was. And the moment they don't feel like they stepped into this project that they didn't want to be a project, but they stepped into it. The moment they start looking bad, they start pointing fingers. Because Conte right now, what he's doing over there in Napoli,
yeah,
he's not playing defensive anymore. Excuse me, he changed his whole strategy. He's being more attacking because he knows it doesn't work anymore. He was bad. And then you look at what he wanted to do. You just took over a team, like I had mentioned before. We were with Pochettino. We were set up to be attacking. Now you want us to be defensive with the same players.
I feel like back then, Pochettino, a lot of the goals that were scored were like counter-attacking goals from Son, Kane. You had who else did you have?
But it wasn't the way, not as defensive
at that point.
Especially with how Mourinho wanted it, and Conte. Like the game plan was to score and then just fall back and either you break on a counter or protect the goal, and it just wasn't us.
But I mean, Conte won the league with Chelsea that way. Mourinho won Champions Leagues this way.
But when
the thing is, like you said, imagine if we had Conte on our team, if he was at Liverpool or at Arsenal. But you can't sort of compare because Arsenal have different players. I think they have higher quality players than Spurs do. The same with Liverpool. So I think if you based on what players you have on your team, you adjust.
No, I think
if he was at our teams, he wouldn't be playing defensive like what he did at Spurs.
But that's all he did is his whole career. That's how he won it.
But he won it with an Inter Milan, with a budget which is in ruins, which isn't financially stable. He was able to do that. I mean, but she wins and this is what you guys wanted. You guys wanted a winner, and if he wins by his means,
that was our problem. Is we went with someone with a name versus a strategy. I think that's where we messed up.
And Italian League, Serie A, and Premier League, totally different leagues. So, but he was here with Chelsea as well. So at least he has some understanding of it. But you go from Chelsea to Spurs.
Chelsea had a lot of money too.
Yeah, there's and an owner who's willing to spend. So I think it's just,
But that was another thing. Conte wasn't willing to sign a contract. So he wasn't getting back because it's like, why would I pay you all this, give you all this money, or this freedom, this say in the club, if we don't even know you're going to stay here long? He never signed a contract with us, an extension, or it was always just in limbo. And I respect him for what he had done, but I think there's a reason why he wasn't very well liked in Inter. With Mourinho, he hasn't been able to replicate his success anywhere else either.
But Mourinho might come back to the Premier League. He said he'd give him 2 more years, and then he bought him team.
Everton.
Yeah, Everton. He could be, or Wolves. Take Wolves.
Ooh.
All right. So is that enough for Spurs then?
No, it's just a bump in the road. Everybody move out the way. Here we come. To the top of the table. I don't even think we're winning the league. We're winning the league.
Struggle bus. It's got a flat tire. You got to wait for Triple A to get
to the top of the bottom half.
No, all right. You know what? I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna be civil. I'm gonna be civil. All right, because there's 2 teams. Well, before we talk about these 2 doo-doo teams, let's talk about
the other doo-doo teams. The Sakaco
teams. West Ham 2, Man United 1, and
this was a life or death, job on the line type of game.
Ooh, Red Devils, what is going on?
So did you guys watch the Dallo miss?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, wow.
Was it on purpose or no?
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
I don't think it was on purpose.
Garnacho hit the post.
Like he sliced it, but because it was an open net.
Yeah, but I think he might have saw the guy going for a slide tackle, so I think he was trying to go like high, but I think he went for power instead of precision. And
if he sliced the ball, like you could tell, like it could have gotten anywhere, but it didn't look like it. He looked like he just aimed like ahead of him instead of towards the net. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
I don't see him trying to do that. I mean, he's getting his minutes, but I just think it was a miss. It happens, but it was a costly mistake.
Garnacho hit the post,
but would a draw have saved Erik ten Hag? I mean,
no.
like Randy mentioned, Ruud van Nistelrooy was already, waiting. So I feel like they were just waiting for the moment to.
But I mean, that's what my mindset was. You bring in Van Nistelrooy in, when I saw that, I was like, he's going to be the caretaker. I didn't think it was going to be this soon, honestly.
But how often do these interim managers have success?
They do have success. Ole had success, which is why he got the
I was gonna say
head job.
I was gonna say it's more so that there's like a shift in mentality. Everyone's kind of like excited again. There's a little bit of a change. You get excited, then you get a little momentum. Teams that go next team that goes plays United, which is Chelsea. They don't know what they're going to be waiting for. They don't know what the start lineup might be. They don't know what kind of tactics they're going to go for. They're going to go for the win. They're going to sit back and try to, not humiliate themselves. So I feel like sometimes any change at all, whether it's interim or permanent, you get a little bit of a spark. Whether that spark lasts, obviously, who knows? But it seems that they have someone lined up for the job.
But that spark can, reinvigorate the crowd and at least give them like hopes to see this is potential. What we can probably get if we give him what he needs, if he takes over. I mean, the thing is, Ruud van Nistelrooy, he has coaching experience. He was there from the beginning, so he's seen these players. He's familiar with them. He probably has his own notes of what. How he would do things. So now he gets the chance to show what he can do, and he has plenty of time to do it.
I've never believed in strikers as coaches. I feel like it just doesn't work
because they only get one view of the pitch.
Yeah. Like holding midfielders are always good coaches. I feel like midfielders in general. I mean, look at Pep, Mourinho, Arteta, like. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it makes sense because it
goes through them, and it just makes sense. Yeah, like Alan said,
you get a whole
forwards are just focusing at the net. They don't see everything. They just wait for the ball to come.
I mean, look at Thierry Henry. I mean, he's a certified coach, and he really hasn't had luck anywhere he's gone.
Yeah,
fantastic player.
The MLS. I mean, he made it to he got it to the finals, but got the silver at the Olympics. But still, I agree. I think it's better if it's a defender or like a midfielder as a coach instead. forward. But I mean, at least he has experience, and he's a Manchester United, player. He has history, so I think that's something the fans at least would like to see. Someone with that mentality who can
one of their own.
Yeah, one of their own who can try to put that into the players, cement it into them. Get them playing for the badge, the crest, instead of playing for the coach. I'm curious to see how he's going to play.
I'm still surprised they didn't wait till December.
Till January or December, yeah.
But then
I think that's too late. I mean, think of it now, because if you get a new coach in December, he's going to have a quick window to get these players he wants. I mean, we still don't know if Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to get a chance to make signings, but I think it sort of gives him a little more time to see what he needs to fix the team.
Like, they play Chelsea next, but had they played Chelsea this match week and lost, I think they would have kept them. And then if they played West Ham the week after that and then lost, they would have sacked them. I think it's the opposition too. Like, West Ham, that should be a team that you're beating, especially considering that they're not consistent right now.
Yeah,
they have a pretty bad. They've had some bad games where, like, you think, if you plan it right, you could win that game.
And I think also the Europa wasn't helping.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think a lot of people are just upset with the coach who's not taking responsibility. He's not taking accountability. All I hear from him are excuses. And you got to be fed up with the excuses. Like he said, we're a hard team to beat. How are you a hard team to beat? You are up 2 goals against Porto, and then you draw a 3-3. That should be a win for you. You're not there to be hard to beat. You're there to win. What position are you in the Europa League? You should be up top. You're Manchester United. Yeah, and it's just excuses I think excuses just was enough of it. And you're like, we hear excuses, we're not hearing solutions, we're not seeing progress. That's it with it.
It wasn't so much like the excuses. He was deflecting a lot of what was,
the blame off of him.
Yeah, and he was being asked these questions, and it's, as a manager, you'd be like, you know what, this is what I'm seeing, this is what we're going to do. He's just like, no, what do you mean? We're doing great. And like, nobody, you're not really doing.
Explain to me.
They win one game and he's saying, oh, that's progress. We win one game, 1-0. You see, that's progress. No, that's not progress. That's just one win. Progress is if it's consistent, and he hasn't been consistent.
I'm as an Arsenal fan, I am sad to see him go. He was basically
must watch TV.
But at the same time, I couldn't deal with his narcissistic comments. He just couldn't take any criticism. I definitely won't miss that. But
do you think this now you can understand a Jordan Sancho,
Jadon
and Cristiano Ronaldo when they got into it with them? You see, it makes sense. Jordan Sancho was he was on the blacklist with them because he wouldn't apologize because he was getting blamed for it. But now you can see it. I think Jordan Sancho and Cristiano Ronaldo were right, seeing how this all played out with Erik ten Hag, and just Alan said, just deflecting the blame off of him. It's not me. It's this VAR, the refs, the conditions of the field, whatever. Now you can
denying games.
Yeah, now you can see that. I don't think it was Jordan Sancho's fault. I think he was right.
Jadon?
Jadon Sancho. Sorry,
he listens, so I had to make sure that we shout out to Jadon.
Yeah.
Hey, Jadon.
Yeah,
let's hang out soon.
Jaden Smith, right?
JS.
Yeah, whatever, Sancho, but it's just now you just see the bigger picture. You see that Erik ten Hag was just, I don't think he was the right coach. They gave him time, they gave him the money, and I think his time, his luck, and excuses ran out.
They waited too long.
Yeah, they did.
I just hope that the next coach up does just as good as he does, and we keep this ball rolling.
But I mean, who wants to take over?
The coaches have been consistently inconsistent.
Yeah.
Every single coach they've had, they've almost ran into the same issues where it's just inconsistent against the top 6, against mid-table teams. it's always been almost the same kind of story. It just seems as they stuck around with this guy a little bit longer because they didn't want to fall into that, well, you're not really giving anybody a chance.
Yeah.
So they gave him a bigger chance and a ton of
And
money.
it just proved wrong, wasted money.
Yeah.
And if you look at all the coaches they had before, they've all had like a 50% win rate.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. Big name coaches, and they just failed. Now, who wants to take over though? Are they going to still be able to get money to the coaches after all they spent on all these players that Eric DeHagen wanted? Is there money in the budget for that? Who wants to take over this team? I mean, there are some short list of players. I mean, of coaches, but do you really want to be? You really want to go into that?
I'll ask Jaden if there's anyone left alone.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he texted me. Wait, what did he say? Did you see Robertson get folded? Oh, hold on. Yes, I did.
Well, before we get to the garbage time game, it is sad to see Eric go. We miss you. Thank you for all the good times you gave us.
Are we going to play As We Go On?
We remember all the good times.
Eric gave us. This is good.
Clip it.
And the end of the era.
Oh, his era came way.
What does that say? If you don't live long enough to see yourself become the villain or some shit like that.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. And the highlight game of the week.
Woo-hoo.
Arsenal 2, Liverpool 2. With Bukayo Saka, Mikel Arteta, number 2, Van Dijk, and Mo Salah all scoring. So, I'm going to turn over the mic to you guys.
A lot of expected stuff, right? I want to
hear Randy. And
we can go. I don't care.
I want to hear his. He was screaming on the top of a mountain how he was going to win.
I have audio.
Oh, well, of course. Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
But still, look, yes, I was confident, and I had the right to be confident because even Pat, when he saw the lineup, all the injuries, he wasn't even confident when he gave his prediction. He, of course, I mean, there's no wrong with it. He's not going to go say Arsenal's going to lose or for a draw. He went for the win, which, I would probably do as well, being a fan. You don't want to pick your team to lose, but they had trouble with injuries. Saliba was out. It just didn't look good for them. But, I did tell Pat in the group chat that I'll give him his props. Liverpool didn't play well. Luis Diaz didn't show up. Robbo had one of his worst games. Our midfielders they weren't there to control the midfield or anything like that. Kelleher, he had a bad game. He had a bad night. The first half was basically all Arsenal possession wise. Saka, I'll do it the favor for Pat. Yes, he turned Robertson inside out and hit it right. It's supposed to be in the corner. It was a good goal. I just didn't think we were playing our best football. But against Arsenal, Arteta found a way to win. I don't know how that lineup came to be, but it worked.
I know how.
And you got to give them credit. They're at home, so that helps as well. But they managed to, Marino, that nice goal. I mean, he's a tall guy, and it was a nice pass. It was nice everything. Arsenal did what they needed to do with an unexpected lineup, and they made it difficult for Liverpool. But then again, I have to give Liverpool credit. We did fight back. We did. Arne Slot made the necessary changes he needed to do after the first half, being down 2-1, and we played better after that. We took Robbo out, which was necessary because that we were just getting destroyed on the left. But Salah came in clutch, beautiful assist from Darwin, and all I can say is a point is better than a loss. We're still second. We're just one behind Manchester City. But, I did tell Pat I was going to give Arsenal props. They did show up. They played surprisingly well with the team they had. And then you even use some dark arts. I don't know what is going on in your water or something, but Gabriel and Timbers, they seem like they're going to be out. I don't know for how long, but it's just, I don't know what Arteta is doing in training, but you guys aren't drinking your milk or taking your vitamins. But
he needs some milk.
yeah, but like I said, Arsenal played well at the end. If I would have to say, I think Arsenal had one more out of this game than Liverpool did, with the players they have, the injuries, the suspensions, and everything like that. I hats off to Arsenal. Still
I know why
a
you
draw
guys didn't win.
but at least we didn't lose, because if I lost, it would have been worse for me.
Yeah,
I would have been hearing it, but it was a good game.
The way you talked, this is still a loss. As confident as you are and yelling and screaming.
Yeah,
this is
because you're supposed to be confident when your team, especially when you have Arsenal, who don't have their best defender. Their midfielder Odegaard is out. How many players are on your injury list? You made a makeshift back four, which has never played together. And of course, it seems like we're supposed to win on paper. A lot of pundits, even you, agreed and put Liverpool 2-1 over Arsenal. So it's not all me, but basing on facts and stats and all that stuff, with all that information, with the injuries and suspension, it felt like it should have been a Liverpool win. I'm not going to say it was going to be an easy win, but it should have seemed like it should have been a win for Liverpool. That's it.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. I mean, we did have a basically random starting lineup, considering all the changes. Thomas Partey was playing right back. Ben White, who plays right back, was playing center back. Gabriel was playing left back, which is the only position there that was consistent, and he had to come off injured. And then left back, we had Jurrien Timber, who's coming back from injury. He was supposed to be out, but I think we were just super thin on options. That I heard that him and Saka basically only did half a training prior to the game, just to get in a little bit of the field.
Yeah, because Saka was even questionable, right? I don't think he was supposed to play. He wasn't. That game.
Yeah, and so like I said, even at the end, Gabriel came off, and that's when Salah got the goal, and it was a like a counter attack from Nunes. He has the speed, and then Mo Salah just knew where to wait for the ball. It's almost like muscle memory. So at the end of the day, I think before going into this game, I probably would have settled for a draw. But it feels more like a loss, because I think we were the better team, especially in that first half. And in the second half, we looked good considering what was going on. But like I said, we just got caught on a counter, and that's what Liverpool do best. So I think it's a bigger point for Liverpool, even though they probably should have won this, and that's because they came back. I think it's a bigger point for them. But at the end of the day, I think it's the biggest winner out of this is Manchester City, because now they're sitting up top, and like we said before, they managed to get these wins no matter how they do it. They either bag a couple goals against any team, or they get like a 1-0 scrappy, but they just managed to do it every time. But yeah, I mean, it was a good game. It was very open, which I'd like to see, considering, like I said, wasn't sure what we were expecting, and it was very open. Partey did staying at right back. We kept Mo Salah quiet for most of the game until the goal. I think prior to that, he had he just couldn't get.
Salah was quiet. He was quiet. Luis Diaz was quiet. They were.
But you gave him one chance.
Partey did have better stats. Yeah.
You give him one chance and he puts it away. So at the end of the day, proud of the boys. They, like I said, we didn't sit back. We attacked. The game was very fun, I'm sure, for any neutral to watch. And it gives me a little more hope going into the Newcastle game next week that we'll probably be able to manage that. But yeah, I just like I said, I now feel like I know would have settled for a draw before going into the game, but after the game, I don't know. But Saka, big props to Saka too, man. He's basically came back just to help out the team, and I have some stats here. His PL goal contributions against the Big Six. He's got 3 goals and assists against City, 4 goals and assists against Liverpool, 5 goals and assists against Chelsea, 5 goals and assists against Manchester United, and his favorite, 6 goals and assists against Tottenham Hotspur.
We were waiting for that one.
Big player, man. Like I said, I wouldn't consider him world class yet. Like he's not at a Son level. I don't think he's at Mo Salah levels yet, but he's 23, not even at his, midway through his career yet. So he's got a lot of time to go, and hopefully he could just keep getting better, because that goal was just pure class, man. That was just from a young player like that. Now we just need to see it every game.
Somebody check up on Robinson, because I thought Pedro got folded.
It was his.
He got folded. He got folded out of that combined 11. We got to redo that one.
I mean, yeah, it was a bad day for him. It was a bad night in the office, but it happens. But then again, Saka, I don't think he was prepared for him to be playing. But Saka, he did what he needs to do. He fucking stopped the ball, cut in. Robo went for a hot dog, and he hit it hard in the corner, hard for the goalkeeper to get with, strength and pace, and it was a goal.
I will say this: the last episode, I complained a little bit about injuries and stuff like that, and you're like, yeah, but you should have prepared. Our bench is better. They come and they show up, and Kelleher ate one right at his near post. I was so happy.
Like I said, he had a bad game, but then we put in Timakis, and then after that, that was the remedy. But Robbo shouldn't have started, but.
I can imagine being Robertson like, oh, you're going to be up against Sterling. He's like, oh, I got this. Then you see Saka coming on.
Yeah. And he's like, none of us thought Saka was going to be playing, honestly. And this is, but, he that's what you got to do. That's what big time players do. That's what star players do. They play injured, and even when they play injured, they come in and they show up and they do an assist, they score a goal.
He was not hurt. He did. He was not hurt.
I know.
Listen, I thought the same too. I was like, is this dark cards? But considering we don't have Odegaard, he had 6 assists in 6 games. Saka, he's our biggest chance creator. So why would we not play him against Bournemouth, or at least put him in the bench, even if he's like hurt a little bit? You know what I mean? So I think there really was something going on. He wasn't fully fit, and you're in Timber either. Like you saw him come off. It was just cramps because he hasn't played a full 90. And just coming back from injury, they did only half a training prior to this game.
Because he had him playing attacking. He was like, "What do you mean I got to move? I'm cramping here."
No, he's pretty good. Hey, when we played Tottenham, he was up the field. I remember he even got into a scuffle with Vicario. He was so high up the field.
I think now you guys did enough talking. Now it's my turn.
All right, go.
All right,
go talk.
Listen up, phonies.
Oh.
I think with the Liverpool team that's here, and all this talk about Arsenal being injured, and you know what, I fell to that trap. I listened to the phonies, and you know what? I think it's gonna. I don't know if it'll be a rough month, because who do you guys play next?
We play Brighton.
We play Newcastle.
Carabao Cup.
We'll see how these matches go, but you know what? It's. Even Darwin Nunez looked like he almost missed that pass. I don't know how he passed that ball. He just did it very awkwardly.
Yeah, it was a little awkward. I didn't think it had enough strength to it, but
if he wouldn't have made that, then what? Liverpool are losing 2-1 to a team that they should have beaten. And I'm not saying that Arsenal is a bad team, but like we said, played with suspensions and injuries, right?
And that stuff.
Are you somewhat concerned?
But they were playing at home as well, and to be fair, the crowd has gotten much more into it now because of Arsenal played last season. So I think there's more energy in the crowd to play at home.
Energy shouldn't. What does it really carry? I get it. If you're behind, you get uplifted and you're like, okay, let's keep going. But I still don't think home or away is a direct replacement for talent on the field.
Yeah, I have to agree with you a little bit, just because like the first goal came from it was a corner by Liverpool, deflected by Kai Havertz, and then at the far post, Van Dijk heads it in, who was supposed to be blocking him, I think Partey, who was doing a different job than he was already. So that's already something due to our injuries. Yeah. And then later, Gabriel comes off injured, and then we literally had to put in an 18-year-old at left back, and then none of our center backs are starting center backs for our team. And then, on a counter, Nunes and Salah get the last goal. So had we had all our starters, would that have happened? Maybe, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's always maybe.
Yeah, but the fact that they happened, I think, due to a lot of these changes, could also be like, oh well. Like I get Alan's point. You know what I mean? Did they get a draw just because Arsenal has like a weakened side right now? I don't know. Is it an excuse? No, because we have to play what we have, and
right. So I think Liverpool should have won this. I'm a little hesitant to say, hey, you guys are.
Are we title contenders or title pretenders?
And so right now, I think Liverpool is more towards the pretenders. But now I'm switching my attention over to Arsenal. Ugh, this doo-doo team. I don't think you guys are contenders this year. I think you guys are going to fall a lot shorter than just a few points. I don't think you guys get second because obviously Spurs are second. But
it's okay. We're signing Eze in the winter, so we're fine.
No, don't touch him. I don't think you guys should feel comfortable either. And obviously, I'm not saying like, I'm just saying like as far as Arsenal being on top, right? I'm not saying anyone's better, so
Yeah.
But I think compared to last season, or compared to last season, I don't think you guys are going to be where you guys were this season. And I think injuries and depth, because you guys have a one of the smaller squads. I think that's going to play a big part, and I think this is right here. It goes to show where carrying such a light squad while playing champions, while playing domestic. I guess it's a good thing that Mikel Arteta, he's a scrub and grimy, for all those other non-competitive friendlies, taking you guys out from that, having you guys fake injuries. I guess that's what's helping you right now. But yeah, it's a very thin squad, and I don't think unless you guys make some good signings in the winter, winners usually aren't big signings. Winners are usually onesies and twosies here, panic buys, or just gap fillers, loans.
And if you buy someone, it's going to be crazy expensive because you're getting them out of the middle of the season.
Middle of the season, it's a price tag people don't really want to buy. So you get, I don't want to say mid players, but you get these players that aren't high caliber. They're just gap fillers and enough to do or you get someone young, and you gamble on someone young and say, oh, we got him from the K League, the J League, or somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's a thin squad, so I think
it's definitely taking an effect. But he'll be coming back soon. So.
You have to hope because you have to hope that he's going well. He might have a setback in recovering. You never know. Like we said, it's a maybe, it's a possibility. He could come back, and maybe there's a hard foul. I agree with Alan. I don't think you're pretenders. It sucks. I just think Man City is going to win it this year. And
why can't Spurs?
We're not going to be as close as we think we are. Your injuries, your depth, I think, is a big concern. I have to see how we get past these 8 games to see what it looks like, to see if we're contenders or pretenders or not. But it's going to be a hard stretch right now. But I just think Man City is the runner-up, and I just think we're just going to be battling out for second and third, honestly, between us. I'm wrong, and I hope we can keep it closer to Man City. We got to see what's up with your injury crisis. We got to see what happens with this gauntlet of games that Liverpool have coming up, and Spurs whenever they can. I don't know what they're going to do, but maybe it'll be 5th place, but.
Nope.
I just think it's gonna be interesting to see how it ends. How it looks at the end of the year.
Yeah, I just think the lack of rotation that Arsenal, I feel like they have right now. Even when Ardegaard gets back, like Randy said, who knows, what's going to happen? Who's going to be the supporting cast around them, with all these injuries.
We'll see what happens in the January window. I feel like you guys will have to make a certain buys.
I think we have to. Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, depth is your big issue right now. And we'll have to see what happens till then to see if you guys can get your players back up to speed or if you guys get another bump in the road.
Till death do us part.
Ooh.
Bump in the bump.
All right, predictions?
All right, let's get into match week 10. Newcastle, 6:30. Since I'm the host, 6:30 El Paso time. Newcastle Arsenal at St. James Park.
This is going to be a tough one. Obviously, Newcastle, it's one of the ones is you never know what you're going to get. I mean, they drew at St. James Park against City. They were able to hold them to a draw. We don't have the best attack. We don't know where Saka's at, if he's going to be able to play a full game. But I'm still going to give it to the boys. In red, I'm going to say 1-0 to the Arsenal.
Ooh. I think it's going to be 1-1, but
it could be.
Yeah, I could see it being the same, a draw.
To the Arsenal, 1-0. To the Arsenal.
All right. Bournemouth, Man City, I think at 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I think Bournemouth might take. It's either going to be a tie or Bournemouth.
I would love that.
I would love a draw.
Add some chaos into the table, please. Do an upset.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Brighton at Anfield.
Ooh.
I say we recover from that 2-2 draw. We're at home. I think we should be able to win it. Hopefully, I want to say 3-0. But
okay.
2-0.
Flip it.
2-0. 2-0.
We made him change his mind.
2-0.
I want to say 3-0, but last time
Brighton comes back and scores 3 in the second half.
Are you confused with the Spurs game?
No.
Then he will make hat trick.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So 2-0?
2-0 Liverpool.
Right. All right. Moving on to Sunday, November 3rd, 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. The almighty Tottenham Hotspurs versus Aston Villa.
Ooh, this could be a good.
That's what I was saying. I mean, I feel like this one should be maybe the game of the week because they're bigger names. I mean, yeah, Manchester United is a bigger team, but now they're
Manchester United now they have a new coach, so
that's what I was thinking. Yeah. And I feel like,
but I just feel like Spurs and Villa should probably be, or we can have maybe 2 games of the week.
I feel like our teams have been in the mix for so I kind of want to give it to a third team, a fourth team, I should say.
I'm voting for United Chelsea.
I think United Chelsea. I think I want to see what they come out with.
Yeah.
All right. My vote doesn't count anyways. But yeah, let's do it. Man U Chelsea.
All right, Alan. Spurs Villa.
We're going with a 2-1 victory for Tottenham. Of course, they're going to disappoint me and they're going to score like 4 goals. But
remember, no Champions League this week, so Villa's going to be fresh.
Yeah, Duran's going to... that Colombiano's going to score. He's going to break your heart.
Nah.
And you have City midweek, so...
Yeah, exactly. Listen, we got this.
I hear
Don't
sweat.
worry about us. Now the highlight game of the week: Man United, Chelsea at Old Trafford. I don't know what game is home for this or whose home game this is, but Man United with a new manager, Chelsea on their little streak. What are you guys predicting?
I'm gonna say 2-2. No, you know what? No, I'm going to go with my original. What did I say? 3?
You didn't say anything.
I said United 1, Chelsea 3.
I'm thinking 3-0 Chelsea.
Ooh. I'm going to get this a 2-3. Man United 2, Chelsea 3. Man United win or lose another game at Old Trafford, and things keep the way they are.
Yeah. Van Nistelrooy in.
All right, and that is an episode. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, like some of our content, share us with some of your friends who, if you have any Man United friends, make sure you share them. We would like to trash talk some more. Tune in next week for Match Week 10 reviews, our mini league reviews, and we'll be reviewing Match Week 11. Myself and the Spurs will be climbing that table. See you next week. Bye.
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 Really?